Everyone keeps waiting for prices and mortgage rates to drop at the same time. It's like some kind of jackpot moment. But the last time that happened was during the worst market crash of our lifetime. And if you're holding out, hoping for some kind of deal, you just might get burned. So here's what we're hearing from a lot of our buyer clients today. I think we're just gonna wait a little longer, Adam. We're gonna wait for the prices to drop and for the rates to drop. Sound familiar? The real estate market, it's bound to crash. I hear that prices are gonna drop by 50%. My friend's cousin, he read something online, like prices are gonna drop by half and interest rates are gonna drop down to 3% again. Yeah, but I saw something on TikTok. Sounds reasonable, right? Here's the problem. Those two things rarely happen at the same time. Generally speaking, when interest rates drop, prices go up. And when demand goes up, generally prices go up. So let's talk about the one time that did happen. And it's more of a cautionary tale than it is a strategy. So the last time that prices and mortgage rates dropped was back in 2007 during the Great Recession. But make no mistake, that was not a buyer's dream, that was a financial nightmare. And home prices plummeted across the country, especially in overbuilt areas like Arizona, Nevada, California, and here in Florida. And some homeowners lost 30 to 50% of their equity overnight. There were abandoned construction sites, foreclosures, short sales, remember those? In response, the Federal Reserve slashed interest rates, eventually driving the federal rate fund to nearly zero. Mortgage rates followed, dropping to levels that at that time were historic. So you had low prices and low rates. But guess what? No one was buying. Why? The lending markets tightened up. Banks did not trust borrowers, and borrowers, quite honestly, didn't trust the market. Confidence was gone, fear was high, and financing was hard to come by. It was a frozen market, not a buyer's market. So yes, technically, prices and rates dropped at the same time, but that is because the entire system collapsed. And that's certainly not something that anybody wants to see repeated ever again. So now fast forward to today, things are a little different in Lakewood Ranch. We're seeing a significant amount of price adjustments. We're seeing homes at all price points sitting on the market significantly longer than they have been in a long time. We're seeing properties that expired, meaning that they failed to sell in their listing agreement time, generally about 6 months. And at the time of this recording, interest rates are hovering around 6.8%. And to be honest, there's no indication that they're gonna be dropping anytime soon. And we're still hearing, I think I'm just gonna wait for the interest rates drop and then I'll jump in. Generally speaking, when there's more buyers in the marketplace, what do you think tends to happen? There's more competition. And when there's more competition, in theory, prices could go up. And we know from experience, generally what happens then is that the bidding wars start up again. And the room that you had to negotiate like you do today, those days wind up going away. So let's talk about what will probably happen if and when interest rates get down to 5%. Now, full disclosure, I have not seen or heard anybody talking about interest rates getting to 5% except for politicians. And you know how we all feel about politicians, right? By all indications, interest rates are more than likely going to be in the 6% through 2025. And quite honestly, I'm hearing maybe into the first quarter of 2026. Now again, I'm not an economist. I cannot predict the future, but by all indications, that's what we're hearing. Okay, so before we talk about what's going to happen or what could potentially happen, let's talk about something that's called in the lock-in rate, because that is real and that's causing a massive issue all across the country. Millions of homeowners are locked into ultra-low mortgage rates, below 4%, creating a significant de-incentive to sell and buy a new home at today's higher rates at 6.8%. And there's actually an unofficial name of this called the golden handcuff. That's where moving would dramatically increase people's monthly housing costs, making them forced almost to stay in their house. So according to Freddie Mac, the average homeowner could face up to $1,000 in monthly payment increases if they sold and bought at today's rates. So as a result, homeowners who might want to relocate or downsize, they're holding off on selling their home. This reluctance to sell is suppressing housing inventory nationwide, contributing to ongoing affordability challenges for buyers. So listings remain well below pre-pandemic levels in many markets due to the seller freeze. Now, of course, I want to talk about what's happening in Lakewood Ranch because that is not what we're seeing. Economists suggest a mortgage rate of around 5% might be the tipping point that would motivate more owners to sell, but the rates are still too high for that shift to happen. Until then, many sellers are just sitting on the sidelines and waiting. So that's what's happening nationwide. Let's talk about specifically what's happening where we are, which is Manatee County. Okay, so I'm not going to go through every one of these numbers, but I want to give you kind of the gist of what's happening here. So closed sales were actually down 8.6%, very close to 10%. The ones who bought in cash are down 13.1%. The median sale price is down. The average sale price is down 9.1%. The dollar volume, the amount of money coming in from sales, is down 16.9%. The median time to contract is up to 46 days. The median time to sell is up to 95 days, so they're sitting on the market significantly longer. New pending sales are also down. Pending inventory is down, but the amount of homes listed for sale, they're up 17.3%. And our month's supply of inventory is almost 5 months. That means that if no other homes were listed for sale, it would take almost 5 months to sell through all of those homes. Hey, by the way, if this is your first time checking out our channel, hello and welcome. If you're a returning viewer, hello, welcome back. My name is Adam Miller with the 941 Lifestyle Group. I'm a real estate agent. I'm a lifestyle matchmaker. If you want to see more videos like this, do us a big favor. Subscribe to the channel, smash that like button, drop a comment down below, let us know where you're watching from. So listen, nobody can time the market perfectly. Not you, not me, not the folks on CNBC. But what I can do is recognize when the market gives you a rare opportunity. So right now, with interest rates hovering just below 7%, there's not a lot of buyer competition. Not a lot of buyers are looking to buy at the moment because prices are still high. Even though they're coming down, they're still priced way high. I did a live stream yesterday with a fellow real estate agent, and the numbers were pretty staggering. Florida prices are up almost 50% from 5 years ago. That means that a house that was $350,000 5 years ago, today could potentially be worth $700,000. So between rates being high and prices being high, a lot of buyers are on the sideline. However, because of that, it is a great opportunity for buyers, even with interest rates being so high. Homes are sitting on the market longer. We are finding more sellers are motivated because there's starting to be an excessive amount of inventory. I think the realization from a lot of homeowners is that prices are going to come down. They're going to continue to come down. So it's best to get the home on the market today. So inventory is increasing. Homes are sitting on the market significantly longer. Let's talk about new construction, because here in Lakewood Ranch, there's about 20 plus neighborhoods currently under construction. And the incentives that those home builders are offering, first of all, tough to compete as a resale home seller, but some of those incentives are insane. I saw one yesterday where the home builder was offering $75,000 off the price of a home. The home builders are able to offer fantastic interest rates that resale homeowners can't offer. I saw one that was offering 4.25% for the first year, and then it jumps up to 5.25 for the remainder of the loan. But 5.25 is significantly better than 6.8%, which is what it is today. We are seeing significant price increases. As a matter of fact, before I jumped on this video, I looked it up. There were 538 properties that had to adjust their price in the last 24 hours. That is significant. That means that the prices are coming down. The market is rejecting the listing price. So what does that mean if you are a home buyer? There's an opportunity if you are a home buyer to potentially get a good deal, to buy a house less than the listing price. As a matter of fact, 95.6% of the asking price is the average list price to sell price. So between sellers offering incentives for closing costs, incentives to lower your or buy down your interest rates, buyers have fantastic opportunities. So what do you do? Waiting for that perfect moment sometimes means missing out on the best moment. And here's what I mean by that. So I did a little worksheet with a potential client the other day talking about what would happen if they waited another year to buy as opposed to buying today at today's prices and today's interest rates. So I'm gonna throw that up on the screen. Let's talk about it. If you bought a home today at $700,000 with an interest rate of 6.75% and you put 10% down, your monthly mortgage rate would be $4,765.77. Now, let me preface a couple things real quick. First of all, I am not a mortgage lender. I am not a mortgage expert. I can definitely get you in touch. I used a basic mortgage calculator. I didn't change any of the numbers. I just used these basic numbers just for reference points. So let's say, for example, interest rates do drop an entire point down to 5.75. More than likely, prices are going to jump back up. Like we talked about, there's going to be more competition. So let's just say prices jump back up 10% to $770,000 with 10% down. Your monthly mortgage actually goes up about $4, $4,769.16. So if you waited a year, hoping that interest rates drop, prices potentially go up, you could in theory be paying the same amount if you bought a place today with less competition. And you'd have your own house today instead of a year from now. So what's happening now in Lakewood Ranch and in Manatee County and in Florida, it's not a market crash. It's a recorrection. It's a brief strategic window where smart buyers can still find value before the crowd shows back up. And if it makes financial sense, you can always refinance in another year, 2 years, 3 years, but you get in now. You can't rewind and rebuy the same home for less after demand surges. So drop a comment down below. What's the real reason that you're choosing not to buy a home in today's real estate market? If you're watching this and you want to chat, no pressure, no obligation about what your options are in today's real estate market, my contact information is going to be down below. Reach out to me anytime. Let's have an honest conversation about what's really happening in the market and what's best for you. Because smart timing isn't about waiting. It's about recognizing an opportunity before everyone else sees it. All right, so I appreciate you guys watching. Make sure you stick around and watch that next video, and we'll see you next time, everyone.